Hey guys, welcome back. This is Matt and Steve. We're bringing you the Bacchus OSL once again in the round of 16. This is the final day, day 6 of the OSL, and so far we've had no three-way ties.
Yep.
No three-way ties. So even though we've had the chance to go to a three-way tie 3 different times today, we never had to. So that's actually almost a first, at least from watching OSLs in the past. I always remember having some kind of tiebreaker. So maybe not as interesting for the fans, but better for us commentators.
Yay! Less work.
Less games to commentate. So that's good. And we are going to have the final game here, which, yes, actually it will be the final game regardless, because in this group, this is the only group that doesn't involve a tiebreaker possibility situation. Basically, you've got Canata and by.hero both 1-1. And the person who wins this game will move on with Lita. So Lita is already 2-1. Quanro did beat out Lita, won his last game against him, but the game didn't even count because Hwasun was already down, Quanro was already down 0-2, so it really didn't matter. So Lita's going to move on regardless,
Right.
and basically the winner of this match is going to move on with Lita.
Yeah, and by.hero, coming off strong off of his win against Quanro, which I wouldn't say was an incredibly hard-wrought victory. But yeah, I am excited that this is actually a first game where one of these players moves on, the other doesn't. So obviously this is a very high-pressure situation for both the players here. So this isn't going to just be, oh, I'm fine, or oh, I'm already out anyways, let's go for an all-in bunker rush. It's an actual...
Which was brilliant, by the way.
It's what you do, man. In fact, going back and talking about the game, Effort versus Flash, I think Effort should have been ready for that, because knowing where Flash was coming into the game and knowing that bunker rushes now happen all the time against Zerg. When you're a Terran player, and we've seen really good players fend them off. We saw Zero fend one off. We've seen Jaedong fend them off really well. So, anyways, it doesn't look like we're going to see that here, not at least so far. Just going for the supply depot standard play so far. We do see, luckily, that by.hero is scouting in the right direction, so he's going to be scouting down below. And here's the part where they cut away to signs for about 10 minutes in the beginning.
And just so you guys know, I don't think we pointed out the positions in case you don't know. by.hero is a Zerg player up in the top left. I think it was in teal. And Canata is going to be the Terran player on the bottom left. He plays for SKT, and by.hero up here in the left is on STX, so obviously. And it looks like he's going to go out and send his drone out for his expansion, so he is going to go ahead and just 12 hatch, which is a pretty standard opening against Terran. One thing I want to mention that we didn't mention before, well, we mentioned that Bisu got knocked out of the OSL. Bisu was the last remaining Protoss.
Oh, yeah.
So
here we go.
All the Protosses are out. This is a travesty. This is terrible. I mean, and it looks like, wow, actually, this is interesting.
Whoa.
Very fast expansion. Could it be? Yes. 14 CC for Canata. So Canata getting greedy on the big map, and it looks like, oh, it's not going to pay off because didn't the Overlord already get in there?
Well, so here's the thing. Normally you'd say, oh, good, both teams expanded. Yeah, that was if this was versus a Protoss. You're playing a Zerg here, Canata. Even if the Zerg does expand, the Zerg expanding is totally standard against a Terran. Terran expanding against the Zerg is never standard. If they were in cross positions, I would say, sure, this probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. In fact, if Canata would be able to fend this off, I think he would do a great job. But yes, we already knew, or by.hero already knew that the position, he already knew what was going on. He already had his Overlord. He has his drone in there now.
Well, one thing I missed, his Overlord didn't see that expansion.
I didn't?
No, Canata snuck the expansion after the Overlord passed, but look, a drone is in there now too. That's actually pretty interesting. by.hero this time is not going to lose to poor scouting like he lost previously to Lita. So doing a good job actually using the drone, even though I already had the Overlord, he probably spotted there wasn't much in his base, in Kanata's base, and so he assumed that something strange was going on, and he is going to see the command center. But yeah, originally Kanata's plan was, oh, it hasn't been scouted because his Overlord's already near my base, and he just went for it. Either that, I don't know, maybe he didn't even see the Overlord yet, but either way, it's been scouted, so all by.hero has to do is, well, he's either got to be really aggressive or he's going to be very, very far behind.
Need a bunker. There you go. So we see a good wall-in if he can obviously mark off the right side.
Kind of poor positioning because he's not going to be able to use a Comstat station there.
Right.
But good wall though. Anyways, good positioning with that wall. It's
Right.
not going to be good when he wants to get the Comstat up. But
well, and Comstat obviously not important in the Zerg early game as it is in Protoss, because with Protoss there's a threat of Dark Templars. But either way, I don't know. I just don't really feel comfortable with what Canata's doing here. I mean, in looking at both of these players, I would say I would go more with the Zerg. Obviously, I mean, I'm a Zerg player, and we are going to see a double factory going up. What in the world? So going to try to take advantage of the better economy. Obviously, that's what you have to do. If Canata can make it past the next 5 minutes of playing this game, I think he could take this game. Now, that is a big if.
Well,
but
he's certainly going to make it past the first 5 minutes because we see a standard 3-hatch opening for by.hero. So by.hero is going to just suck up the loss, I guess, and maybe try to go 3-hatch mutas. We do see the whatever you call it, machine shop. Why do I always forget? We see the machine shop going down on the factory already, so I'm kind of surprised he's not getting quick vultures, and by.hero does have a sunk in there anyways, even if a vulture was coming. But he's getting the quick machine shop, so he's going to have probably tanks out, unless he's going to be upgrading vulture speed or something like that, which is certainly a possibility. We do see the Spire going up, and now an armory going up, so probably going to see some Goliaths, you know, defend off the mutas, and maybe just going to skip turrets. This has been really dangerous for Terrans previously. We've seen Flash kind of do this sometimes and gets caught where he has maybe one turret and one Goliath, and it's just not enough to hold off the mutas. But usually, like in that game, that was because he was going against 2-hatch mutas. So this is going to be the more standard 3-hatch muta build, with the exception that by.hero has built his 3rd hatchery in his base. So he's not going to get a 3rd gas anytime soon, or that 3rd mining base. But he is going to have the necessary gas off of 2 gas to go for 3-hatch mutas.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as the Terran goes, the Terran is definitely sitting better as far as economy. Terran can do a lot of 1-base economy. Terran can sit at 2 bases for a long time. I think that, I mean, yes, there's a 3-base tech going on, and we are going to see the Mutalisk pop out here fairly quickly and start rushing over. But we see a large group of vultures coming over. Well, I say a large group. A fairly but reacting smartly to this. We are going to see almost like a wall-in going up. It looks like the vultures are going to probably search for a hidden expansion. It wouldn't be completely bad for by.hero to go for another expansion at this point. He doesn't quite have the money for it, but once the Mutalisks get out, he might want to try to do that while he's distracting Canata here. Canata, as you see, is getting turrets up, but a lot of Mutalisks coming out here. And I don't know how many Goliaths, if any Goliaths are out yet. We haven't seen them yet from Canata. If Canata does not have any Goliaths out, now we do see some good turret placement. We do see a few Goliaths. This is going to be the point right here of the game, that we either see Canata emerge victorious and possibly win the game, or we see him not. Great fending off there, and it looks like by.hero is not going to be able to get into the expansion. And he's sitting there, carelessly getting caught off guard. Going to lose at least one of these, losing one. And, oh my gosh, that was really careless by.hero, just setting his Mutalisk and then ignoring them there. Going to try to take out a few Goliaths here, but a lot of Goliaths for Canata. We'll have to see.
by.hero should not be engaging here. This is not the Jaedong micro or the Jelizorg micro that we see in OS. You know, I do think that by.hero has shown that he has that very good micro, and it looks like Canata is going to do a good job. He's going to pick off this SE. Or yes, he picks off the drone before it can get to extractor. If you guys don't know, you can save your drone if it's low on health by morphing it into that extractor and then just canceling that extractor, and that'll bring the drone back to full health. But great job by Canata to stop that base, and I feel like by.hero is really far behind in his economy. He's barely 2-base versus 2-base Terran. He's going to have way less saturation with